Yes, 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 yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. The number one priority in Philadelphia, Zach Baun. Your championship defense is set with more moves to come. Man, I was waiting, dude. I didn't know how long we were gonna wait, but there was no way they were gonna let Zach Baun just walk, man. Whew, that's just insane, bro. Honestly, like this was like 25, 26 minutes ago. The news just came out that Zach Baun just got a 3-year deal. Okay, let me put up the actual tweet here so it makes sense. Hope everyone's doing well, by the way. Obviously, this is breaking news out of Philadelphia. Zach Baun just got a new deal with the Philadelphia Eagles. This is real. I was making sure this was real, wasn't fake, whatever, because people like to put up that fake news. Okay, breaking news. Eagles are re-signing all-pro linebacker Zach Baun to a 3-year, $51 million contract, including $34 million guaranteed. At signing an additional $1.5 million in incentives, okay, as escalators per sources, the contract instantly makes Baun one of the highest paid linebackers in the NFL. Whew. We talk about these other. It's just crazy. It's honestly crazy, dude. It really is. It's insane. You would never expect to make a move like this, sometimes because of the linebacker spot being so invaluable to the Eagles as it has been the last for a long time. You change your priorities and re-signing, especially signing a running back to $12 million a year to now a 2-year extension for $41 million a year, $20 million back, $36 million guaranteed. And now you made Zach Baun one of the highest paid. One of the highest paid. That's just crazy. I have no idea what the cap space would be. I have no idea right now. The update cap space, I'll update you guys on that. But I think we got to celebrate here. This is the biggest move they made. Okay? With Nakobe Dean, if this move isn't made, you have Nakobe Dean that's not playing till October, November, okay, because of the patellar tendon. And then you have, obviously, Ben Van Simmeren that's coming off a knee injury. Trotter Jr. is the only one sitting there. And, obviously, Oren Burks is not re-signed yet. So, realistically, are you going to add to this spot with Oren Burks? This is a big move for the Philadelphia Eagles. This is a championship defense. This is the number one priority I wanted. And what I say, the number one priority I wanted, then we could sit back, let Howie cook, let Howie do his thing. And this is what we wanted. We're here. This is it. I want to say hi to everybody in the chat, the 123 there in the chat right now. We got the Mandalorian Dome. What's going on? We got D1922, Anthony Alarcon. What's going on, man? Joe says, that's the forehead wiper from Nerves. Chris got said, I told you don't worry, Shakes. We were signing Baun before free agency a week ago. Reggie says, Howie is cooking. Jones says, how much is the cap? Yeah, the cap space, I have no idea. And I have no idea yet. Okay, so the Eagles freed up, I don't know, a bunch of different people were telling me I thought we freed up like $7 million with Saquon. Some people were telling me $10 million. At this point. So I don't know what it is. So you've freed up what? You've gotten up to what? $34 million in cap space, 34 to 39 million. I don't know what the number is, but it's between 34 to 39, if that's the case. And yeah. So you freed up 4.2 from the release from Slay. You freed up 2.1 with a post-June release designation for James Bradbury. Sorry, my brain is not working. It's early in the afternoon, so my brain never really works this early. But the news just broke. Zach Baun, one of the highest paid linebackers in the league, and ready to go. So it's so exciting right now. So yeah, we should still have over 20 million in cap space, Rob. We definitely should. We definitely should. That boy Q race Joey, we could still afford Miles. I don't know, honestly. I don't even really care about that. I didn't care about it prior to this move, to be honest. We don't really need Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett is just a luxury at this point. You keep that 32nd pick now and go draft an edge rusher. I'm perfectly fine with that. Perfectly fine with that. Now, everyone's worried now, like, oh, we're not going to be able to sign we don't need Myles Garrett, bro. I'm telling you, you don't need Myles Garrett with this defense. It's a luxury player to have, and if it's going to cost too much, I wouldn't even worry about it. You know what I mean? Wouldn't even worry about it. Robert Jones says, what up, Joey? Very good day today. It is. This is the best day. You got Zach Baun signed before you hit the market, and I was afraid they were going to wait until like the day before, and it was going to get messy, but I mean, literally a few days ago, Zach Baun, was in Wisconsin, and he was doing some, like, I don't know what he was there for, but he was doing, like, he was talking to a bunch of people, and, like, I don't know if it was a school or I don't know where he was at, but everybody was doing, like, the Eagles chant. So I was wondering, like, if this was going to progress going forward. But let me tell you, man, this is the biggest move of the offseason, bro. You lose Milton Williams, you lose Josh Sweat. I completely get that. You're going to get your compensatory picks for those guys in 2026. But realistically, like, this is like the number one move for the Eagles. Like, they had to make this move, especially with Nakobe Dean's injury. Like, it was more likely that they were going to make this move. Okay, so realistically, I could sit back and I can relax, on what's to come for the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles have done what we never thought they would do, is sign a running back to top 5 money. When do they do that? They never do. So you don't have to go for any big home run move on the edge. Even with Zach Baun signed, like I said, look, if you're able to get Myles Garrett in here on top of this move, then it's game over. If you don't get Myles Garrett, it's still game over. Regardless, the Eagles still have a very valuable pick at 32. Whether they could trade up, you have that 5th-year option at 32 to when you hit that second round at 33. And they have a lot of big decisions to make there on really who, drops down in this draft, because somebody will drop down in it. So, you're locking guys up. I mean, your defense now just it's 100 times better. Your defense is now almost set. I mean, you're only a couple pieces. Like, realistically, like, yeah, sure, do they need some depth here and there? No problem. Not really worried about that. But realistically, like, if Brandon Graham comes back, or if Graham doesn't come back, they pick Khalil Mack up, and I don't know, they go into this draft and get one of the best top edge rushers in this draft. I think they're fucking set, honestly. I think they're set. 100%, I think they're set. So I think it's... Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good right now. I'm feeling really good right now. I mean, I didn't think it was going to happen today, but it happens. It happens when you least expect it. I went on Twitter literally, and I had like 8 notifications pop up, and I knew something like literally just happened. Something literally just happened. And it was Zach Baun getting a re-sign. Okay? So being a top 5 highest paid linebacker in the league, well-deserved. He gets the financials to take care of his family. He gets his generational wealth from this contract. He's taken care of. And, whether this guy is a product under Vic Fangio or whatnot, it's a slam dunk at this point. It's a slam dunk. So I'm feeling pretty damn good. Feeling pretty damn good over this signing. Bill Collins says 2025 has been so damn great. Fly, Eagles, fly. Look, I think, I kind of knew that they were going to mess with Saquon Barkley's contract, but I didn't think they were going to extend. I didn't think they were going to. I thought an extension maybe would have happened, but I didn't think they were going to really increase his salary that much. And they did. They made him a $20 million back which is absolutely amazing. Well deserved. Every penny is worth it. Okay. And now you re-sign Zach Baun to top 5 linebacker money. And I mean, you're set, dude. I mean, you're set for the next few years at linebacker. You just gotta see what you're gonna do. Are they gonna put Trotter next to him next season? Or, I feel like they're gonna make somewhat of another move, but it's gonna be a lot cheaper. Like, I'd bring Oren Burks back for another year, to be honest with you. I know Oren Burks is probably gonna try to cash in on the least amount of playing time he had. I mean, he played through the playoffs, obviously, when Nakobe Dean got hurt in that Packers game. So he's got some value, but how much is that worth really for a big contract? I'm not really sure. Yeah, Paul Hopp says extend Juergens now, more cap savings. Exactly. Juergens is definitely going to get extended, whether it's the offseason or during the season. Since Howie Roseman I think he's changed his ways of not giving extensions during the year. So I'm guessing they're going to try to figure something out this offseason. And it might not happen right now. It might happen like in training camp, or it might happen, down the line going forward. So we'll see how it goes. Deshae Shaver says Hurts is about to get an extension and get more cap relief. I totally believe that too. I think that's another thing that they could do as well. I think they'll mess around with Jalen Hurts' contract, whether they give him more bonus money up front, more of a signing bonus. I don't know. They give him more money up front or something like that. They can mess with that contract all they want because he's here for the long run, so it really doesn't matter. He's got a $21 million cap hit, lowest of all quarterbacks in the league right now. So they can always mess with that contract. So the Eagles didn't waste any time the last week. They were freeing up cap space, Slay release, Bradbury release, and obviously the extension for Saquon, which I think was probably not the first thing in mind coming to this offseason before free agency, that he would get some quick extension, especially at, a $20 million back now, from a 12 to a $20 million back after this season. That's pretty amazing, man. So Chris Kaufman Jr. says, who's next? I'm not sure. Man. Like, Mekhi Becton is still a big question mark for me because I feel like they're starting to garner a lot of interest in this draft, whether it's Anthony Belton between the 3rd and 4th rounds that could play tackle and will try to make him a guard. I don't know what his market is going to look like after playing right guard for an entire year, winning a Super Bowl, and if they can make something right with him. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. We'll figure it out. We got Beast Guard with the super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. Says the bald eagle is back, baby. Everything how he does after this is just icing on the effing cake. I can finally sleep peacefully at night. Yeah, we can finally sleep now because linebackers going to be no problem now. Because when you look at it down the road, okay? When you look at it down the road, okay? Nakobe Dean coming off this patellar tendon injury now is probably going to make you be able to resign. As long as he comes back fine, I think you'll be able to sign Nakobe Dean after this season for cheap. He's gonna be cheap. I'm really thinking at this point that Nakobe Dean might not even play until the playoffs, to be honest with you. But they have to pair Zach Baun up, and I don't know if Trotter's gonna get that chance, or are they gonna bring Oren Burks back, or maybe there's someone else they want to sign that's out there right now. You know what I mean? So we'll find out. Fangio made sure with Howie Roseman that they're not going to let Zach Baun walk. And that this was the biggest move of the offseason. This is your centerpiece player. Besides, if it's not named Jalen Carter, this is your centerpiece player for your championship defense. And they got it done. CW Gearhead with the super chat. Thank you so much, man. He says, some good news, Grant, after hearing my grandmother has breast cancer. Any news is good news. Dude, I'm sorry for that, man. That's horrible. Oh, I hope she's gonna do better, man. Because that's it's worrisome, I've known plenty of people that have had breast cancer, and I hope everyone does is going to do well, and I hope my prayers will be with her, bro. I promise you that. I promise you that. So, if this news helps you out for the day, that's all that matters, and everything else will work out, man. It will work out, you know. So, appreciate that super chat, CW. Appreciate it, man. Clark says, let's effing go. Joey, we got the bald eagle back. We got GJ QJ with the super chat. What up, Joey? You think we could get Garrett? I don't even care about Garrett. I've said this the past couple weeks. Like, the more I read about this trade, the worse that it's getting. I mean, I don't know if I'm even hearing anything else about it at this point of what the compensation is going to be. Because now I know people are going to ask about Garrett constantly because now people are going to be really intrigued on like, damn, you're able to sign Zach Baun the top 5 linebacker money. Now you could pretty much do whatever you want with this defense. Most of this draft compensation will go towards this defense besides drafting an offensive lineman. You'll probably draft a tight end if they don't trade for one. I've heard the Eagles might be on the trade market for a tight end. Is Will Shipley the number 2 back in Philadelphia? Will they add another back throughout the draft through rounds 5 to 7? I'm not really sure. But, guys, let me tell you, man, offenses could put points on the board, but these championship defenses, like I said, they win championships, and you just got the biggest free agent that didn't turn to a free agent that was probably going to get more money than he was getting. I don't know what he was going to get paid. I don't know. His projected number was between 4 to 17, and he kind of met in the middle a little bit. So the Eagles gave him what he deserved, and I think he probably could have got paid a little bit more, to be honest with you. So I think there's a lot that goes into it, man. But this is so far, the moves they've made, these are really good starts for the Eagles, no doubt. Very good starts. CW says, she said, thankfully they caught it early. My stomach. Oh, well, that's really good. That's good though. The earlier the better, bro. The earlier the better, bro. Old people can be stubborn too. So you know what I mean? But thank God she's not like that. She caught it early. Chris says the only move on Garrett if Washington goes for him, and I think that's going to be. I think what Jeremy Fowler said probably a few weeks ago, that if Washington is in trade talks immediately for Garrett, they're going to swoop in there and take him away from the Commanders. I wonder if the Eagles say, nah, we have no interest in Garrett, but if he's coming into the NFC East, we're going to swoop in and get him. Maybe. I mean, we'll see. Possibly it could happen, Chris says only move on Garrett if Washington goes for him, potentially, yeah. Robert says, Joe, you think Gainwell gets re-signed? No, I don't. I think he's going to walk. You put a lot of money into that running back position now the next few years, so I don't think that's even possible. I never thought it was possible anyway. Saquon is your back. You need some product backs behind him, whether they go through the draft, whether they stay put where they are. We'll see what happens. If they like Will Shipley enough, we'll see what happens. Days, the reports have been out that nobody wants to listen to. Myles Garrett is not coming to Philly. He might not. They might want a lot for him. Like I said, if players are involved in a trade for a 30-year-old player that's got a 2-3 year minimum, okay, on contract long term. So I don't know where it's going. I'm trying to see right now if there's any other news regarding anything else that's going on. I mean, Zach Baun, Jesus, what a day. What a day today. It's been a really, really good day today. What a gem. What a out of nowhere gem this guy has become for the Eagles. Just absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Better put some C's on their chest in this program coming up in the offseason. by the season starting. You better have that. But $34 million guaranteed 3-year deal. Shit. I mean, that's a bargain for me, bro. Then there's news coming out that Brandon Graham retore his tricep in the Super Bowl and played through it with injury. That's a whole Derek Gunn put that news out just now. That Brandon Graham, retore his tricep. So that's gonna be a little interesting going into the offseason. Poison, where do you think DK Metcalf will go if hurts my soul he's leaving Seattle? I mean, I thought the Packers had eyes on him for a while. I mean, the rumors have been going really towards the Packers. But honestly, that should have been the receiver that the Commander should have went after. But he would have costed a little bit more. And obviously, if you pay, obviously you're going to have to pay more for a better receiver. So I don't know where he's going to go. I definitely agree he needs a fresh start. Newton Sr. says, what do you think about Slay coming back? Should he keep the number 1 corner spot? I mean, honestly, the number has to be realistic for me. I mean, it just comes down to what he wants. Apparently, his number is a little expensive, which I don't doubt it at this point that it is expensive. Okay. So we'll see what happens. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know where that's going to go, to be honest with you. You're empty at cornerback. Cornerback, they have to figure that number 2 spot has got to figure out. They got to figure that out. Whether Rodgers comes back, I know I had a lot of arguments with Eagle fans over Keely Ringo, and people are saying that he could start next year. He might be able to. Like I said, I'm not saying he's good. I'm not saying he's bad. He just hasn't played enough, and that's fair to say. Like he hasn't. There's not enough for me to analyze if the Eagles think he's going to be starting next season as the number 2 opposite of Quinyon Mitchell. Paul, Nifty 350D with the super chat. Thank you so much, man. Says, might look to draft for edge or cornerback. I don't know. I mean, yeah, potentially. I mean, realistically, like if they went after Garrett, or if they made a big move at edge rusher and they brought Brandon Graham back, I still think they need another piece regardless. They could go after a cornerback in the first round. That probably would surprise me the most. But if this cornerback spot isn't solved, if it's not solved, I don't think Keely Ringo's the answer. That's just me right now. Paul, appreciate the super chat, Nifty. Paul says, good luck, Dallas, trying to extend Parsons. Yeah, look, it's already embarrassing enough that you let Parsons play on his 5th. He's already at his 5th-year option. And he's not even re-signed yet. He's already at his 5th-year option, and he's not even re-signed, bro. The Eagles would never let a first-round pick get to his fifth-year option. I mean, I think that's really embarrassing. They have just really bad cap management. It's horrible. It's one of the worst in the league. They said, Joey, go and look at the Carl's cards and collectibles. You can see BG not using that arm, and look at him at Sixers games. He has a bandage on his left arm. Yeah, it's definitely true then. He retore his tricep. So does that make the Eagles think differently about re-signing Brandon Graham on a cheaper deal? I don't know. I honestly be all in on Khalil Mack coming to Philadelphia as a deep depth rotation piece. I've been saying this. Not bring both of them, but one of them. If one of them doesn't get here, I think they should bring the other one to Philadelphia. And I think you might have a Khalil Mack thing on your hands. You might have a Khalil Mack interest on your hands here. So we'll see how it goes. Craig Miller says, Joey, how you feel about trading for Micah Parsons? I think that the best move for him in Carr deadly combo duo could wreak havoc in the. Yeah, I mean, realistically, dude, like you have to trade with Dallas, bro, and you're gonna get fleeced. Like if you're trading within the division, you're gonna get fleeced. Like I don't want to help Dallas. If keeping him there is gonna hurt them more, then that's what I'm probably gonna want to do. You know what I mean? That's what I'm probably gonna want to do at the end of the day. Nifty 350D with the super chat. Thank you so much. He says there will be drop off with Ringo. He could run with the fast guys, but more shifty routes. He's not very agile, and it shows. DeJean would be better. I know Eagle fans get pissed off when I say that as a downhill tackler playing downhill, he's much better. But realistically, I just think he has slow. Don't think his hips mirror very well, and I just think he needs more time. I'm not even saying he's a good a bad player or anything like that. Let me get my water real quick because I'm freaking thirsty. Sorry, I was like fucking thirsty. I think we're gonna be all right. I mean, I think he just needs more time. I just think he needs just more time, and that's where we're at right now. I can't say he's a crappy player or anything like that. Like consistently, if he was with the ones, we gotta see what he does. Nifty with the number super chat. Thank you so much, man. So I'd bring Slade back before giving keys to Ringo. Yeah, probably, but it depends on this. It really depends on Slade's number at this point. I mean, I'd probably start Isaiah Rodgers over Keely Ringo right now, to be honest with you, because he's a legit starting cornerback. He's still young. He's got a special teams pedigree, so I mean, there's more room to keep. I think the projected contract for Isaiah Rodgers right now is like 1.2 to like $2 million a year. I mean, he didn't play much. Like he came in on some games, but he didn't play a whole lot of snaps. So I really can't see Isaiah Rodgers getting a whole bunch of money. I just can't see him cashing in. Like he's going to try. He's going to take that Super Bowl win and try to cash in on that, but it's only going to take you so far going forward. So, you know what I mean? Chris Coffin says, I don't know. He's a free agent, but I'd take a flyer on Reddick. Oof. It's a weird thing for me right now. Number one, I was never against Reddick for leaving, but his projected contract is like a 1 year, $11 million deal, which is obviously a lot lower coming off a 1 sack, 8 game season with the Jets that he tried to cash in on. The Eagles traded him. He was going to hold out with the Eagles. He was going to hold out. The Eagles ripped the Band-Aid off. They said, you know what? Instead of dealing with this holdout, we're just going to let him go. They traded him for nothing. A third-round pick, a third-round conditional for 26. Never turned to a second-round pick. So we have 3 third-round picks. We'll have 3 third-round picks. Obviously, with our pick, the Reddick trade, and obviously Milton Williams signing somewhere else. That's going to be an entire thing. So we'll see what happens with that whole move. A Reddick coming back would be a very big surprise to me. And would I be welcome to it? I don't really have an issue with it. If it's not trading for Myles Garrett and Reddick could still play at a high level, which I think he probably can with this defensive line, I probably wouldn't be as against it as probably some people would be, So we'll see. Nifty says, with the super chat, Ringo needs linebackers and safety help. Not going to change the whole defense because he runs with cement in his shoes. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not going to talk too much crap about him because he's barely played. He's barely played. You're coming into a game cold if you have to. You're coming out of the back room cold going into a game. Like, I don't expect him to play well sitting on the bench all year. If he gets an opportunity during the year for a few plays, I expect him to get targeted in games by offenses, so we'll see. CW Gear with a super chat, man. Thank you so much for that. Says, thoughts on getting Blankenship a deal done early, not against it, and nothing against Sidney Brown, but he gets too reckless with tackling too often. I think, honestly, I think Sidney Brown's coverage is really good. You're right on his tackling. It's reckless. McCollum is really bad at his coverage, but not bad at tackling. I don't think our safety depth is actually really that good. And to be honest with you, the Eagles have been looking at more safeties in this draft. whether it's Malachi Starks in the first round, whether it's Malachi Moore from Alabama, that's more of a hybrid player, that could play on the inside as well. That could be another good move for the Philadelphia Eagles going forward. So they've had a strong interest in safeties in this draft. And it might sound weird, but it's not, because maybe they don't expect to sign Reed Blankenship to a long-term extension. And that's, kind of where we're at right now. So I'm not really sure what direction they're going to go when it comes to the safety spot, but depth at safety is really bad. Inside corner behind Cooper DeJean is really bad right now. I think both of those spots depth-wise, especially safety depth. I mean, Jesus. I mean, McCollum comes into that Super Bowl and he gives up a touchdown like it's nothing. Coverage didn't seem like it was that bad, but I don't think they're good. We thought Sidney Brown was good. I mean, I think we've seen Sidney Brown in coverage as a safety in 23, and I thought he played pretty damn well. But it looks like Fangio just doesn't like him, I guess. I don't know. You know what I mean? So I think safety is definitely going to be something to look out for between the first couple rounds, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not saying that they'll draft one in the first round, but if someone, someone could get picked on day 2, it possibly could happen. So we'll see. We will see. Appreciate that super chat, man. Craig Miller says, I would love to see Howie make a move for Hassan Reddick. He old, but I think he got 3 to 4 years left, and he could lead the young guys. Yeah, I mean, realistically, coming off that 23 season, okay? Coming off the 23 season, I don't know what's going to happen here, but, I don't know if that was the right time to re-sign him. Obviously, he was going to hold out regardless, but they weren't going to pay him over whatever number he's looking for. It wasn't going to happen with the Eagles regardless. But it seems like the Jets, that trade was one of the weirdest things to me, because they traded him there. Okay. And the pen and paper wasn't even ready for him to sign. He went to the complex, the Jets complex. I mean, you have your introductory press conference as the new edge rusher for the Eagles, and you don't even sign a contract while you're there. Didn't talk to the head coach and Robert Saleh. I mean, it was just too weird. That whole thing was just weird. What happened? What happened? It made that whole thing was the weirdest thing to me. And Reddick deserved more money. I mean, Reddick came to Philadelphia on a discount. Never mind. He had more money. He had more money elsewhere. He could have signed elsewhere. When he came to Philadelphia a few years ago, he came on a discount, and he was ready to cash in a couple of years. And unfortunately, he didn't. You know what I mean? So he can't hold out another season at his age at 30 right now. I mean, I don't know if the Eagles have interest. I think they want to go younger. They potentially could bring him back, but I think the way they're drafting and the way, I don't know if Fangio, this is a new regime now under Fangio. So they might not have interest in Fangio. Fangio might say, nah, I'm just not into it. And I could probably agree with it. The Jets happened. Yeah, the Jets are cursed. I live in New York. I'm around Jet fans all the fucking time, and they're they never even talk about football. Ever. They never even they never rep a jersey. I mean, nothing. I mean, there's nothing going on. Nifty with the super chat. I think Chauncey, CJ, GJ, and Blankenship shouldn't be broken up. Developing talent behind them is a good idea, although Reed worked his ass off for his spot. I agree. But what is that contract? We're lucky because last year we extended him throughout the 2025 season, where we got really lucky because he would have been a free agent this past off season. So him being here one more year and not much being behind that safety spot right now, safety could be a big pick in this draft on day 2. It could. Chauncey's here this year, next year. Okay. And we'll see what happens. I mean, the safety-wise, I don't think they're going to sign anybody free agent-wise. I think this is definitely going to come down to the draft of if the Eagles, obviously, if they draft somebody on day 2, then they're obviously going to, I think Reed is going to be on the way out. If a safety lands on day 2, Reed's on the way out. You know what I mean? he's starting this year. He's not going to be a rotational guy or a backup or the 3 or 4 safety. Like, he's the starting safety for the 25 season. There's no doubt about it. So, K9 says, I would prefer Khalil Mack over Reddick right now. Mack wants to be on a contender. Yeah, and that's you know what? And that's perfectly fine. You know what I mean? Khalil Mack's 34 years old. He's older than Reddick, obviously. He's coming off a 6-sack season. And before that, he came off a 16-17 sack season where I thought the Chargers were going to trade him after the 23 season. I thought the Chargers were going to trade him after the 23 season since he was a lot older. He had some value. And, nothing really got done. So they kept him on for another year. I think as a deep depth rotational piece, he loves Vic Fangio. Fangio knows how to use him. And I think you could put him in a deep rotation where Khalil Mack could be a complete beast for you. So I'm all on board with it, to be honest. I'm not even against it, to be honest with you. So that's where I'm at. Nifty 350D with the Super Chat says, I want to see Shipley as a running back too, getting some carries. No, I do too. In the receiving game, I think he's a beast. I think capably, he's been every time he runs with the football in a straight line, man, his rushing, he doesn't have some off crazy skill set with his running attack. He's got to get a little bit faster. He has to have a really good offseason. He's got a big opportunity. The way he ran that ball past Washington and he ran out of gas so damn fast. Shipley could be a nice number 2 monster for this team going forward. They have Lou Nichols, they have Davis Price. I'm trying to figure out who else they have running back wise. They're going to bring in more running backs. Honestly, I wouldn't mind a bruiser back sitting on the practice squad in case they need to use him or something like that. But they'll probably go with the running back through it wouldn't surprise me if they draft a running back between the 5th and 7th rounds, or maybe an undrafted free agent back that comes out that was undrafted. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I think Will Shipley has a lot of talent. I do. He just needs more time and more opportunity. Guys just need more opportunity. This is why when you're drafting, you got to produce. This is what happens, man. This is what you got to do. Walter Hurst says he played good last year, but what happened if he starts playing like Jane Bradbury and now you're stuck with that contract and he's not playing up to his contract? Zach Baun. Well, that's with every player, man. What if when AJ Brown got extended, he could have not played well after that? Yeah, in Eagles' recent years, yeah. Guys got extensions and did nothing. Alshon Jeffrey had 4 years. Well, he signed the 1-year deal with the Eagles, and then he went back and after his Super Bowl run, and he signed a 4-year extension, fully guaranteed, and he was a walking injury nightmare. Timmy Jernigan, when he signed, remember Timmy Jernigan from Baltimore? Timmy Jernigan signed a big deal with the Eagles. As soon as he got that deal, production just dropped. It happens with a lot of players. That's why you need to let go of Milton Williams. You need to let go of Josh Sweat. You need turnover. You need coaching turnover, and sometimes you need turnover with your roster because guys are fulfilled. Like, we're going to find out if Milton Williams is as good as he is if he's not playing next to Jalen Carter. Like, these things matter. Yeah, sure, Milton Williams could, get paid all this money, goes to the Patriots. Maybe he won't play well because he doesn't have a Jalen Carter next to him, and now he's the number 1 guy. You need turnover, bro. It's like, oh, what if I walk outside and I get hit by, a car? It's either going to happen or it doesn't happen, man. Like, it's just, Alex says this. What if Saquon gets hurt in practice? Yeah, it's you can't go off of what ifs. Howie Roseman is going to sacrifice. Howie Roseman, he said it at the combine. He's like, I'm not going to play it safe. If it gets me fired, it gets me fired. Like, I'm going to take this team to the next level. I'm going to take every bit of, any type of compensation I can get for players, trade, free agency. He's going to put whatever he possibly can into this team every year. This is the best GM in the league. And what is it resulting in? It's resulting in getting to the playoffs, and now it's resulting in championships right now. It's resulting in all of that, and that's the big difference right now. You know what I mean? Shane says, Joey, how are you doing today? I'm so pumped for Zach Baun. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's get that back-to-back Super Bowl. I'm ready for it. Brainless Humor with the super chat. Appreciate it so much, man. Says, how do you feel in Alexander, the cornerback from Green Bay? I don't think he fits what we're doing, to be honest. He's not physical enough. Quinyon Mitchell is a physical corner. Slay is a physical corner when they use him that way. Okay? Alexander is not that physical. Yeah, but BO1 says he's injury prone as well. He's got injury history. I don't want to go after Jair Alexander. I don't want to go after the guy from the Chargers that's a free agent. I don't want to go after him either. You know what I mean? Sante Samuel Jr. Those are two guys I don't go after. They're too small in my opinion, and they don't play physical. You know, you got Deebo Samuel now in the NFC East. Like, you got to be physical with these receivers now. You know, you need to be physical, and they need to find the right guy, whether they bring Slay back, which they'll try to make that, try to get that number down a little bit to be his last year playing in Philadelphia. And if they sign Slay back, he better be hungry. He better be ready. He better be prepared. Like, he better be on his shit. He better be on his shit. There's no doubt about it. Better be. Shane says it's our turn now. It's now an Eagles dynasty, bro. It is. It is. Like, you're making a run next year, bro. You're making a run. This season in 25, like the next couple seasons, you're trying to repeat again. This is the best team in the NFL, in my opinion. I don't think any team is going to get better than this team in this offseason. I don't care who they draft. I don't care what it is. The Eagles are going to be the number one team in the NFL. The number one defense. I'm telling you. Rock the Artist, what's going on, man? So, I mean, realistically, guys, like this, I mean, you couldn't get better than this in the offseason. You really can't. The Howie Roseman didn't waste no time this past week on obviously extending Saquon, saving money, releasing Bradbury, saving money, post-June release designation, releasing Darius Slay, big play Slay, you're freeing up money. And now you re-sign Zach Baun. You re-sign, you extend Zach Baun. You extend Saquon Barkley. Okay? The offense I wasn't really even worried about, because all you're worried about offensively is, you need to worry about, obviously, your offensive line going forward in the next couple years because of Lane Johnson possibly retiring. Mekhi Becton hopefully getting re-signed. I want to see what Tyler Steen can do. I want to see what Trevor Keegan can do at that right guard spot. So we'll figure it out. Craig Miller says, Joey, I honestly believe Carter is the best DT pass rusher in the NFL. He top 3 on the bottom, and teams already double him, and he always gets home. Oh, he's getting all the attention. Aaron Donald said that was his replacement in the NFL. Like the great, I can't even talk. The great Aaron Donald said himself that was his replacement. And I believe it. 6.5 sacks is a low number for Jalen Carter. But when it comes to his hurries, his quarterback hits, how he makes everybody else successful on that defensive line, it's bar none. Without Jalen Carter, nobody else is doing nothing on this D-line. Not saying that, it all starts with him. It starts with him. It starts with Jordan Davis. And these edge rushers are benefiting from it entirely. It's going to be the highest paid DT. It's going to be the highest paid DT. They've done almost everything this offseason already. Already they've done almost everything I've wanted them to do in this offseason. And it just started. I said, what did I say? You sign Zach Baun, you're set. Not that they don't have to when I say they're set, not mean they can sit back and not make any moves. I'm saying literally anything else at this point is going to be luxury. Sure, they need to draft an edge rusher, which they're going to do. They're not stupid. They know what they're going to do. They need 2 more edge rushers right now. They're going to get a Khalil Mack or a Brandon Graham back, and they're going to either go into the draft or they're going to do a Myles Garrett trade or a Crosby trade, or I have no fucking idea. I have no idea. Robert Joe said, I'd like to see us get a tight end early in the draft. Who you think would fit behind Dallas? The guy from LSU, that Mason dude, I like him. I want to see what that Gunnar Hansen guy could do, too, because I know that he messed up his ankle when he was doing his 40 times. I know the Eagles had a lot of interest in him. And I forgot there was one more guy they had interest in. So, I forgot his name, but I have it written down. I forgot his name. So, I mean, I think tight end's a huge possibility. Dallas Goedert, $11.8 million cap hit. Remember, it's a voided contract for next year for Dallas Goedert in 26. He's a free agent after this year. Okay? Calcaterra is a free agent after this year. So tight end is huge right now. Tight end is going to be a big one going forward. So they got to redo Goddard's contract. They have to redo his contract for this year. Just like they did with Josh Sweat this past year. They redid his 1-year deal. Oh, the Raiders extended Crosby today? Is that true? Really? Did they really do that? I'm losing my voice, by the way. Just letting you know. My voice is going to sound like a 15-year-old girl right now. Did they really? I didn't see any news on that. Let's see here. So there's news right now that Slay just deleted his latest podcast. Shout out to YouTube Eagles Al, a really good content creator for the Eagles. He said Slay just deleted his latest podcast episode. He's either about to sign with the Eagles again or he is gone. That's interesting. So Max Crosby must have signed an extension. He must have signed because people are saying he signed an extension. I'm trying to see where the fuck is it? Hold on. Let me see here. All right, so Max Crosby signs a 3-year, $106.5 million extension. That includes $91.5 guaranteed, making him the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. Holy fucking shit. Okay, well, interesting. All right, so Josh Sweat's gone. Josh Sweat's definitely gone. Damn. That is crazy. He deserves it, man. He's a good player. Max Crosby is re-signed. Yeah, somebody said, so someone Hector says Slay's pod 2 hours ago is still up. Someone says it's gone. So is it a video or is it a live stream? I mean, he doesn't live stream at all, so. So Darius Slay was on, I don't know how long this ago was. I mean, this was uploaded 4 hours ago. He was on the facility. Darius Slay on the facility said he would like to play in Philly if the money is right. If Philly's doing what I want to do, then we in Philly again. So, damn, the Bears trade for Joe Thuney today. Damn. So the Bears trade for Joe Thuney that got lit up in the Super Bowl by Jalix Hunt. Joe Thuney gets traded from Kansas City to the Bears. Interesting. So they have no left tackle right now. They have no left tackle. And I'm sorry, but Trey Davis is shit at guard, and I know they threw a franchise tag on him for like $26 million. The franchise tag for guards is like 26, 27 million as of right now. Wow. That's kind of insane. Joe Thuney gets traded. Okay. I see now. Shane says, "Well, I'm hoping that Eagles get a good cornerback and for well, you don't want to dip into the free agent market for cornerback unless it's one of our own players. You don't want to hit that. You don't want to hit that free agent market, bro. You don't want to do that." The Mandalorian Dome says, "Joey, do you think we're going to draft a cornerback or sign one free agency if Slay leaves Philly?" I mean, if they can't sign Slay, I could see an attempt for Isaiah Rodgers maybe, and that won't be expensive. As a free agent, that won't be expensive. But other than that, I don't see Jair Alexander. I don't see Asante Samuel Jr. And potentially like another DB in the first round for the Eagles. I mean, I honestly don't know. You know what I mean? It's like you don't even need the number one guy in the first round. That's the greatest thing about it. You don't even need the number one guy in the draft. So we'll see how it goes. Khalil Mack, I would do it. If Brandon Graham retore his tricep. That's the news from Derek Gunn. And if that's the case, it might make the Eagles rethink of even re-signing him. So if they don't bring Graham back, I would bring Khalil Mack in. 100%. EC wants his projection. Superstar pass rusher Myles Garrett projected to sign a 3-year, $111 million contract. Extension, Garrett currently at... No. $111 million for how long, dude? Like, how long is that contract? You're telling me he's gonna be like a 2-3 year extension for $111 million? Yeah, that's a projection. At the end of the day, projections aren't realistic at all. They're just projections. I mean, he's not getting that. He ain't getting that. Khalil Mack, old as dirt. Oh, he's 34. He's old, but he's still productive. Brandon Graham was old as dirt last year, and I thought he played pretty damn good. Big Sarge says, yeah, I mean, Khalil Mack is not going to be like your player that's starting. Like, he's a deep piece. You need 2 edge rushers right now. You need 2 guys. 2 guys. Okay? You need a Graham replacement, and you need someone to start on that line, on that side. That's what you need. The Eagles don't have, besides Nolan Smith, whether obviously Jalix Hunt, yeah, of course, Jalix Hunt is still producing. They need 2 more edge rushers. They might go sign another DT. Not sure, but realistically, you know. Cal says Eagles need an experienced DB. Yeah, I mean, if you want experience, you go get Isaiah Rodgers if you can't sign Slay back. I mean, that's all. I mean, that's realistically, that's as much as I could do right now. You know what I mean? Mac is 47. Bar says Myles isn't even staying in Cleveland, let alone get paid that much. I know. It's like it's a big extension plus like how long is this contract? 2-3 years? I mean, it sucks, dude. If Myles Garrett was 26, this trade would be a totally different conversation. It would be a totally different conversation. Because when Khalil Mack got traded to Chicago from the Raiders, okay, or whatever it was, they gave up like a first, a second, a third, and 1 draft. And then they gave up like 2 extra picks for the next couple drafts. You're not talking about a 26, 27-year-old in his prime. You're talking, yeah, defensive player of the year candidate almost every year, and a double-digit sack guy, a guy that wants to win. You know, he's got to be realistic within himself, too. You know, he's 30 right now, and you're trying to cash in over $100 million. Like, no, it's you're trying to cash in over $100 million on a contract extension? No. I mean, something's got to give. Like, you got to make it easier for the team to trade you. You know what I mean? He's 18 million against the cap next season. So Myles Garrett, I know, is open to a new deal. Obviously, he wants to get more money. So, hey, I want a new deal, but I want more money. It's got to give, bro. Like, we've won without Myles Garrett. I don't fucking care about getting Myles Garrett. I really don't. As long as Zach Baun was signed, I don't give a shit what else they do. I really don't. Yeah, Bosa's only had Joey Bosa. I really don't have interest in that either. He's only had like 2 healthy seasons. He's only had 2 healthy seasons in his entire career. He's a walking Band-Aid. I agree with that. Big Sarge says +1 for Trevon Walker. Yeah, I mean, I wonder if he's going to be trade bait. I wonder if he's on the trade block right now. 10.5 sacks last season. You know, like a Georgia guy. Add another Georgia guy to the mix. How much is Trevon Walker going to cost you? His cap number probably isn't ridiculous this year. They can rent a. I mean, the last thing I want to do is rent a guy for the year. If the Eagles have interest in maybe extending Trevon Walker after this year, then that's what they do. Unless they give up like a mid-round draft pick for Trevon Walker, which I don't coming off a 10-sack season, 10.5 sack season, I don't know what it's going to cost. You know what I mean? Craig says Fred Johnson, good offensive lineman, that could emerge in Philly. Well, Fred Johnson's a free agent. So LaRaven Clark's a free agent. Fred Johnson is now a free agent. They could bring him back. Maybe we'll see what happens. But he is a free agent as of right now. Eden says, Joe, what up, Joe? Do you go after Kyle Pitts if you get rid of Dallas? Potentially, maybe. I just need to know if he could block well. If he can't block, I'm probably not going after it, to be honest with you. I'm probably not going after it, honestly. Omega says, woo, let's go. Yeah, it is official. Zach Baun is extended for 3 years, top 5 linebacker in the league and paid money, and he's ready to go. K9 says, if he's bad at blocking, you may as well draft Fannin at that point. So, I mean, this was a fantastic day today. Fantastic day today. There's no doubt about it. This was fantastic. Couldn't agree more. The next move for the Philadelphia Eagles, we'll see. I've been on Twitter like as of recent. To see like what these moves are going to look like. But it's safe to say that Milton Williams is gone. And now after that Max Crosby deal, Josh Sweat is definitely gone. All it takes is that one sign to kind of start up that market. I mean, not that Josh Sweat's going to get that type of money, but you know, he's going to get big money. He's going to get big money. So we'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how it goes. Trying to find anything else that's around right now. Man, it's so nice to pay it's so nice to pay a running back. It's so nice. Sorry, it's so nice. It's so nice to pay a running back. It's so nice to pay a fucking linebacker like big money. Like, goddamn, we are changing. We are changing our fucking ways. It's crazy stuff. Yeah, people are already predicting that Khalil Mack is coming to the Eagles already. Jeremy Fowler says Baun was the Eagles' free agent priority. Meanwhile, the feeling in the league circles that Milton Williams and Josh Sweat will both hit free agency. That's the news. So Zach Baun was a priority the entire time. That's awesome. That's what I want to hear. God, man. It's like how he thinks like us sometimes. Zach Baun was a priority. Thank God, man. Thank God for that. Hallelujah. I'm telling you. At this point, it looks like Milton's probably going to sign with the Panthers or sign with the Patriots. One or the other. I know he signed on one of those two teams, especially the Patriots having over like $120 million in fucking cap space. They're looking for a number one receiver. They called the Eagles about A.J. Brown, which is definitely true 100%. You know that shit's not fucking happening. So, it's crazy. Nimbus says Saquon is worth every cent. Totally true. Totally true. Prince says, I'm glad we signed Baun. Thank God is right. Yeah, I know. Jeremy Fowler just said that was the Eagles' priority. He must have got some news from the Eagles that it was a priority signing. That was the rumors going around this extension for Baun. The top priority in Philadelphia, the top priority, 100%. Derek, you think they keep Milton or Sweat? No, they're walking. They're walking. They've been walking. I never thought Josh Sweat, maybe there was a chance at some point, but obviously he wasn't a priority because they would have signed him early. You know what I mean? Because these other edge rushers are going to get signed. That Dallas DT got signed to 21 a year, so Milton's going to get more money. And now Max Crosby got a non-quarterback with the highest deals for an edge rusher, and I mean, that's it. It's over. It's over. You're getting Howie Roseman loves his comp picks. So technically, the Eagles in 26, not this year's draft, the 26th draft, the Eagles will have 3 third-rounders, and they'll have 2 fourth-rounders in the 26th draft. That's all I asked for. All I asked for in this coming off season, because Nakobe Dean was hurt, and it's not realistically, like, it was hard for me because it's like, man, you're going to sign Zach Baun, and then Nakobe Dean's going to get a big contract. But now that's not even the case. You don't have to worry about that now. As long as Nakobe Dean comes off that injury and gets back to his normal self, and he can get back to his normal self because the patellar tendon injury is a serious injury, because it is, okay? He probably won't be back till the playoffs fully ready. I'm not talking coming back. I'm talking coming back and needs to wait another 4 weeks, because realistically, you're rehabbing for months, and then you got to get on the field, and he's not going to look the same. You know? So potentially after this 25 season, if they feel good about Nakobe Dean, he's going to be cheap. He's going to be a bargain. A cheap bargain. Especially if he barely plays in 25 this season. Forget about it. Derek says Graham and Smith is going to be out for a while. D-line going to be missing 2 guys. Well, Graham is a free agent technically right now. And Smith will be fine. I'm not worried about Smith missing time. I'm not even worried about it. He'll make it by the time the season starts. He'll make it before the season starts. If he misses OTAs, whatever. You know what I mean? If he can get into like the middle of training camp to the least, later in training camp, I have no issue with that. That gives you more to say. They got to sign 2 more edge rushers. They got to sign a couple more edge rushers. They do. They need a Graham replacement, and they need a starting replacement. That's what they need right now, because Josh Sweat is gone. So I think they need to double dip at that position, 100%. Wouldn't even hurt if they signed a DT for depth. I mean, I like Thomas Booker. I think Moro Jomo is going to be. I think he's going to be a really good player. I think he's been getting better for a 7th-round pick. Moro Jomo has played fantastic. I've had no issue with Moro Jomo at all. Like, whatsoever. So sky's the fucking limit, dude. It's the limit. But man, besides Jalen Carter, that was pretty much one of the that was the number one player we had to sign, and we got it done. I love how like they're putting up all these like things like of like all these tweets that people said about Zach Baun when he was with the Saints and how trash he was and all of that. It's so nice that we're not getting rid of linebackers. They're going somewhere else and being successful. Guys like TJ Edwards, LJ Fort. I mean, just linebackers that have left here because the Eagles can't produce that position, never had any type of, they just never valued it in a coaching aspect. They were veteran heavy. They had favoritism towards veterans. Like, you know, thank God they didn't sign TJ Edwards back. It's almost like we were rewarded this for all this patience that we had at linebacker. And this guy, when he got signed last year, like no one fucking thought this was going to happen. No one thought this was. We said, oh, 1-year deal. Oh, we have depth at linebacker. Nice. Special teamer. Nice. I mean, that's what it turned into royalty. Nimbus says, love Sweat, but it's so important for us to keep cap free so we could sign our young core. Carter will be the highest paid defensive player in the league. 100%, dude. I think Jordan Davis will be relatively cheap as well. I don't think he'll be expensive either. You know what I mean? Keep drafting well. You keep drafting well, you won't run into a cap problem. You'll never run into a cap problem ever if you keep drafting well and producing players well. You know what I mean? It's crazy stuff, man. It's crazy stuff. I don't give a shit about Myles Garrett. I don't even care about it. This was fantastic. Joey, what is the Eagles' biggest threat? Just what do you mean? Like the top team in the league that's the biggest threat? I don't think they have a threat, to be honest with you. I don't think they have any threat. They are the hunted now. Everyone's coming after us this year. Matthew John says, Becton next with then Goddard for Garrett, trade in the works with Huff to Raiders for Mayer. Yeah, well, they're not going to sign. Well, with the Max Crosby deal, I don't think they're going to. I don't know. I don't know who else is paid on that defensive line for the Raiders. You know what I mean? I don't know who else is signed with the Raiders to big money besides Max Crosby now. Yeah, they have interest in trading. I don't know if they're one of the teams, but I know that there's been a lot of rumors of that Raiders tight end, that 23 years old, people have been trying to trade for him, I guess. You know what I mean? And guys, make sure you hit the extra draft content. Become a member today. We have another, right after the stream is over, I have another draft highlight reaction video coming out. We have a video every single day. Doesn't matter what tier. You get the cheapest tier, mid-tier, high tier. Doesn't matter. You get double the content. We put out draft membership videos every single day. So we're doing regular draft videos on the channel, but for membership videos, we're doing more. So we have a bunch of, we show a lot of video and stuff that gets claimed. So definitely become a member if you guys have not. Appreciate it so much from everybody. Hold on 1 second. Oh, shit. What the fuck just happened? Hold on 1 second. I just screwed up something. Well, I didn't screw something, but just making sure this is right because it messed up. I mean, this is the best day we could have had, bro. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better friggin' day today. Couldn't ask for a better day. If you guys have not either, sorry, I had to take the chat off for a second because something just weird fucking happened. Joey, how we need to draft and blocking tight end in the 3rd round help Barkley and Hurts. Yeah, I mean, I think tight end is definitely in the cards. Yo, Brandon Peck, what's going on, dude? He said, Joey, we did it. As soon as I saw the news on the Score app, I got excited. Hell yeah. This is the best move, man. Gregory Wilcox says Hassan Reddick comeback story. Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, potentially. You never know. I mean, honestly, it wouldn't really shock me too much. It wouldn't shock me too much. You know, we'll see how it goes. But that is the news on Zach Baun. That is the news, man. Top 5, highest paid linebacker in the league. Absolute deal that they needed. And hearing from Jeremy Fowler that this deal was priority for the Eagles. Priority for the Eagles. They did not want him to hit the market. Thank God. And I think he's the first linebacker signed right now, right? I don't think any other linebackers have been extended this season. So, you know, they have Christian. So the Raiders have Christian Wilkins. Well, he's probably cheap, right? I mean, Christian Wilkins, who drafted? I thought Miami, did he come from Miami? I thought Wilkins, he was from Clemson, right? That was the Andre Dillard draft, I think, when we drafted Andre Dillard. I don't even know if Fangio wants Hassan Reddick back. You know what I mean? Is he cheaper? Would he be a lot cheaper than probably a Myles Garrett trade? Probably, yeah. I think that's definitely would be in the cards for a cheaper option. Matt says the bald eagle's here to stay. Let's effing go. I know, man. I'm ready. I'm ready, dude. And if you guys haven't either, check out the Philly Shakedown podcast merch. We got the new champion shirts, high-sprung polyester, really good fabric, awesome shirt. Definitely go order up. A lot of people have ordered this shirt already. The Main Thing t-shirt's another one we have in the hallway. That iconic moment with Jalen Hurts comes in multiple colors, guys. Definitely check out the rest of our store if you guys haven't checked out the Philly Shakedown podcast merch. You get what you pay for. It's fantastic quality. A lot of people have been buying stuff. And definitely go check out some of the stuff that we have in there. Link is in the live chat and in the description as well. And to kind of show you guys, this is the champion shirt. We made a small batch of them. And, ready to go. So got a whole bunch there. Definitely go check them out if you guys have not. It's an absolutely fantastic shirt. This shirt is taking like an hour to make. Each shirt takes about 45 minutes to an hour to make. So go order up if you guys have not. Obviously, you buy a shirt, it's in support of me and Philly 500. So definitely go check those shirts out. We're going to have some big reveals coming out for maybe free agency, the draft, definitely. So some things are going to happen soon. So definitely hit that link in the live chat and check out the store. Go check it out. Appreciate it. Beyond appreciated. So I think the Hassan Reddick thing is just it might be something that, the Eagles are just not going to have any interest in doing at this point. Does that make them look good re-signing him back after what happened? I mean, I don't know, but I'm not sure. We got Baun, bro. It's good. We're finding out some other news as well here. I'm trying to look for it. Darius Slay just retweeted the Zach Baun signing and said, "Yes, sir, worth every penny, well deserved." You don't understand, like, Zach Baun was the biggest asset. Besides Jalen Carter, he was like the number one biggest asset in this defense. I'm not even kidding. I mean, that brings joy to my heart that not only did they really produce a nobody on the Philadelphia Eagles at linebacker in 1 year. And Fangio sought out this talent, but they just paid him top 5 linebacker money, bro. Top 5 linebacker money. Worth every penny. This is all I wanted. This is it. I can sit back now and watch Howie do the rest of his magic and have no fear in the rest of this offseason program. Dennis Barksdale says, as long as we can ditch Huff and get Reddick back, I'm good. Yeah, no, I mean, Reddick's not a priority. We don't even know if Fangio wants Reddick. Fangio wasn't here when Reddick was here, besides him helping the offense in 22. But I mean, Fangio might not even care about Reddick, bro. Reddick is not a priority. Okay, they have the 32nd pick right now. We got to see what this Myles Garrett situation is going to be and how much this actually is going to be going forward. Brand Peck says, Joey, did you see Graham retore his tricep? Yes. 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 Seeing that. So that's going to be a whole nother thing, too. Re-tearing his tricep now, and it's like, damn, like, is he going to last another, you know what I mean? Like, maybe he has a bad tricep and he can't play anymore. If he has a weak tricep now and, like, this is what's going to happen, like, he can't re-sign back. Sorry, but. "37 years old, a lot of wear and tear. That's where you're going to be." They just said that Milton and Sweat are going to hit the open market. Oh, yeah, 100%. After that Max Crosby deal that just happened, Sweat's gone. Milton's been gone. Milton's already been gone at this point because that Dallas DT got $21 million a year. And I know that he wasn't taking no discount. So you gotta let the turnover. There's got to be turnover with the roster. There has to be turnover. Guys are fulfilled. They won a Super Bowl. They go get their bread. They go to another team. Boom. Huzzy says, Garrett for 26. First and next year, and then draft an edge of 32 would be the best. We mean Garrett for 26. First and next year. Oh, a 26 first and next year. Sorry, I'm an idiot. A 26 first next year and then draft an edge of 32. If they were only to give up one first round pick for 26, I'd probably get it done. Briz Gamer, so you know how he's paying the guys that prove themselves, the end of story, which is just simply awesome. Well, the difference is, like, you're signing guys off of a Super Bowl, which is great, because in 17, like, they were re-signing guys from that Super Bowl the next few years. Like, they re-signed everybody, and sometimes doing that isn't great, especially when your drafting is not good either. You're re-signing, you're restructuring contracts, you're kicking the can down the road, bigger cap hits later on, and you don't have anything to replace it with draft picks that are the future of this team. It caught up to the Eagles, unfortunately. So, Min Mommy says, Joey Shakes, do you think we re-sign Becton? Possibly. There's, right guard to right tackle is going to be interesting the next couple of years. Like, that needs to be figured out. I'm excited about Tyler Steen. I'm excited about Tyler Steen. I'm really excited about the guy from Michigan. Why is his name I always forget his name. I just said it in the stream earlier, and then I forgot it. Trevor Keegan. Thank you, Trevor Keegan. I'm excited for both of those guys. But realistically, if you re-sign Becton, he could be the future right tackle. Maybe he could go out to right tackle if Lane Johnson retires, could stay at right guard. We'll see what happens. But If they don't sign Milton, I know they have interest so far. They've had a top 30 visit with Anthony Belton from NC State, and he plays mostly left tackle, but he's got great athletic ability, and could be a guy they're going to move into guard this season. So I don't, this year in the offseason. So I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see what happens. G-Fish is Walter Nolan to replace Milton. Sure. If he's there at 32, sure. I mean, realistically, I like Thomas Booker. I think Moro Ojomo, nobody's talking about Moro Ojomo. I don't know why. Is there a gaping hole at DT? Not potentially. It's not the biggest hole, but sure, they can add a depth piece that's a mid-tier contract. They can add a depth piece that's a mid-tier contract. They can go into the second round and go get a DT if they really want. You know what I mean? So I think guys are going to be on the board there. There's going to be guys available in free agency for mid-tier contracts for depth purposes, maybe a 2-year deal at that position or something like that. That's really good in the rotation. So do they need to replace Milton? You're not, you know what I mean? You have to replace Milton Williams, sure, but it's not as much turnover as you obviously need an edge rusher right now. Moro Jomo is going to take a step up. Thomas Booker hopefully can produce a little bit more, have a better off-season program. And then you add one more guy. You just need to add one more guy to that mix and see who it is. Could be through the draft. We'll see. But I think potentially, if Graham isn't back since retouring his tricep for the second time that we heard today, then then I think if it's not going to be Brandon Graham, I think Khalil Mack might be the prospect you're going to go after. Probably. If it's not a 37-year-old, it's a 34-year-old coming off 6 sacks last season. Okay? And he's depth purposes. He's not starting. He's going to be deep depth, 15 snaps a game. Nothing crazy. You know what I mean? Nothing that's going to blow your mind. Then they go out and get that top dog, whether it's going to be a Myles Garrett trade, okay, a Travon Walker trade, or they go into this 32nd pick and they say, look, we have draft capital. Let's go get the best edge rusher. Well, it's not going to be Abdul Carter, obviously. But if you want to go get a James Pierce Jr., go move up and get him. If you haven't moved, it's going to cost you to move up to 20. It's going to cost you to move up. It's going to cost you. Sure, they can get away. Maybe they can move up 10 spots, but anything more than that, it's going to cost way too much. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of different combinations that they could do with this defensive line and how they work it. So, yeah, Jalix Hunt's going to step up. Mingo, I agree. I think Jalix Hunt is a gem. I think he is a gem waiting in the wings. It's just too bad they never started him. He really, throughout the games he was playing late in the season, besides the playoffs, we'll take the playoffs out of it. When they were giving him more opportunity, that was his preseason. That was his, producing games. Like, that was just him trying to get a feel for everything. Jalix Hunt got into the playoffs and boom. Was just, even if he's not getting sacks, he's getting pressures. He's making the quarterback go inside the pocket. He's moving up in the pocket. It's helping another player at the end of the day. So, how many sacks do you have? A couple sacks. He had one in the Super Bowl. You can't even complain about that. He had a half sack and probably another sack at the Super Bowl. Can't complain about it, man. Can't even complain. We got 221 in the chat. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the stream up as much. Let's try to get to 200 likes if we can. Appreciate it so much. Check the memberships for the extra draft content if you guys have not either. We're going to have more content out every single day for the draft, as well as the regular channel that puts out draft content. We're putting out draft highlight reaction content for the members. So it doesn't matter what tier you get, become a member up top, pin comment, all the way up top here if you guys have it. Oh, yeah. Well, Dak was going to get restructured anyway. It was going to happen. They have to restructure him to free up cap space. They're over the cap. They need the money, bro. Jair Alexander, no. No. Not Asante Samuel Jr., not Jair Alexander. They're not physical quarters. They don't fit Fangio's scheme. They don't fit his scheme. And Jair is just too injury prone at this point. So, regardless of who you get, and just say they sign a Jair Alexander. They need to sign Isaiah Rod. They need to sign somebody behind him. They got to sign somebody behind him. Until I see Keely Ringo really step up in this offseason program and Eli Ricks and some of these other guys, and obviously they'll bring in some other cornerbacks for camp, I'm making sure you're doubling on that corner spot. You're going to double at edge rusher, and you're going to double at that number 2 corner spot, whatever it's going to be. Callie Green says re-sign Rodgers for security. He can hold up that slot. Well, if he can hold up that slot, why didn't they never put him in the slot? But why was he never the second guy behind Cooper DeJean? Why was Devontae Maddox the backup for all this time? I think in dime package, Rodgers was the next cornerback up anyway. Curtis says Rodgers over Ringo as of now. Yes, they will battle it out, but I think Rodgers will win it. Kyle says, Joey, all we need is an edge rusher now. Yeah, they need 2. I think they need 2 edge rushers. I think they need, 2 edge rushers and 2 corners. Especially if Slay comes back, the amount of times he's in the fucking medical tent every single game, 3 to 4 to 5 times in the medical tent. Yeah, I think they need to. Yeah, I think they have to go. They need a backup that can walk right in. And why not get the guy you just had in the Super Bowl? That you just had in the playoffs. That you had all year. Like Isaiah Rodgers is a legit starting corner in the league. Number 2, when he was suspended for the gambling, the only team that had interest in him was the Philadelphia Eagles. So he had a chip on his shoulder. I think Isaiah Rodgers had a huge chip on his shoulder. And on top of everything else, he's got a special teams pedigree. You know what I mean? He's got speed. He's got 4.3 speed. He's fast as hell. So, I mean, I think he's got a lot of value with this team. If he's not starting, he's got a ton of value at fucking special teams. Matt says another thing we definitely got to do is get a competition at kicker for Elliott. Yeah, I think they should bring somebody in just to kind of scare him a little bit, get him worried a little bit, kind of push him a little bit. He's coming off a really high note. He made every kick in that Super Bowl. He made every kick. You know what I mean? So before that Super Bowl, he missed 5 kicks in 5 games. And that was a little worrisome, just a little bit worrisome. Couchard's going to be dealing to improve. Yeah, realistically, let's see who they try to get. I think they'll try to go for Devontae Adams. They'll try to, it wouldn't shock me. The Cowboys in the first week of free agency, they never really make big moves. When they signed Stephon Gilmore and Brandon Cooks, they never sign guys. So as soon as they sign guys, they hyped them up. You know what I mean? They're always hyped up. They sign one guy, they're hyped up. They have no context with the fucking guys that they sign. Just like Washington getting Deebo Samuel for a 5th-round pick. Their jaws are dropping to the floor like they just traded for fucking Jamar Chase or something. I don't even know at this point what they're doing. You know what I mean? I have no idea. All I'm going to say is this team is going to win for a long fucking time. So here we go. We got news on Jonathan Allen at defensive tackle. It says Jonathan Allen will likely be released if the team can't find a trade partner. They're trying to trade Jonathan Allen. Originally, that Deebo Samuel trade was supposed to be a Deebo picks and for Jonathan Allen. That original trade for Deebo Samuel between Washington and San Francisco, Jonathan Allen was actually in that trade. It never happened I don't know why it didn't happen. I'm not sure why it didn't happen. Jonathan Allen might be a free agent. You know what I mean? And he's a pretty good player too. You know? He missed the entire season pretty much. Well, not the entire season. I know he had I don't know if it was a pectoral injury. He came back like he came back right in time for the playoffs. All right, here we go. We got news on defensive tackle Javon Hargrave. It says teams were notified that 49ers Javon Hargrave, who will be a post-June 1st release by the team, is healthy coming off his tricep injury, per sources. He will be available to sign March 12th, start of the new league year. So you got Javon Hargrave, and how old is he now? He's got to be what? I don't know how old he is. What a waste. The 49ers wasted these last few years, bro. They totally fucking failed, and I love it. They totally fucking failed, and I love it. That team is falling apart. Falling apart. Cap-wise, they're falling apart. Now they got to pay Purdy because they had all these years of signing all these guys and having this roster that they had. Now they're going to start. They actually have to play banker. They have to play banker now. Okay. So we will see what happens here. Damn. Zach Baun, man. First team All-Pro, bro. First team All-Pro. Snub for Defensive Player of the Year. 4th or 5th on the line for Defensive Player of the Year. Pro Bowler. Super Bowl champion. So, well, Javon Hargrave went to a better team apparently and didn't do much. So, how old is Javon Hargrave anyway? What's his age? How old is he? He's 31, I think. Yeah, 31. 31 years old. I wonder if they're going to make a sneaky I wonder if they're going to make a sneaky move at DT. I really do. I wonder if they're going to make a sneaky move at DT. It's not even like Javon Hargrave. I wonder if they're going to get like a mid-tier type player at DT for a rotation. That's going to be really interesting. N'Kobe isn't far from Baun? No. Ghostman said, I promise you this sounds creative, but mark my words, Howie will trade for George Kittle. Our last 4 targets have been for players nobody expects, including AJ. 49ers is on a fire sale. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I mean, I kind of be shocked over that. How old is Kittle? I don't even know how old he is. How old is he? Ocean Steck, what's going on, man? It says, great news, Joey. How's life? It's great. Today is a great day. Today is a fantastic day to be an Eagles fan because the Eagles signed the number 1 priority. Jeremy Fowler said that the Eagles' number 1 priority was to re-sign Zach Baun. Thank God that was the priority. Thank God they listened to us. Thank God, bro. Thank the heavens. Thank the fucking heavens on that. Yeah, Kittle is very random. You need a future prospect. You need a future prospect. Let's see. Dallas Goedert is essentially up for a new deal with not much guaranteed money on his left on his contract. He'd be a top free agent, be one of the top free agents available. I think he's getting a new deal or is going to be traded to a team that will pay him. Interesting. I mean, that's really from nobody. That's essentially like, I mean, at this point, you don't know what's going to happen. Jonathan Allen, bro. I have a fucking suspicion that DT is going to be we're going to sign a DT at a pretty good cost. I just have that feeling, bro. I have that feeling. Got to draft a tight end in the middle rounds. I agree. They got to draft one this year. I think they have to. Baun is an all-pro and Dean is very average. Okay. I don't know what you're drinking today, Marina, but Dean is very average. Sure. How? Let's see. Trap God says Myles Garrett is a must get. It's not a must get. Why is he a must get? There's no must get with Garrett. He's not a must get. He's a luxury that the Eagles can win without him. They don't need him. They don't need him. Yeah, everyone's going to say they need him because we're empty at 2 spots. Sure. Robert says Cooper with the boundary will be a great cornerback. Rodgers is quicker, better to adjust double moves. The only thing that bit Cooper last season. Malky 86, what's going on? That's what I'm saying. Unless the Eagles get someone better than Cooper, Quinyon and Cooper, your best cornerbacks, and you put your best cornerbacks where? On the outside. Yeah, but you know what? What's been really the biggest? I think inside corner is way harder than outside. And that's been the biggest weakness for the Eagles. Besides this season, that's been one of the biggest weaknesses. That inside corner spot has been really bad for the Eagles. If you want to move DeJean to the outside, sign Baun, and go get like a Malachi Moore from Alabama that could play hybrid, that could be a hybrid safety / inside corner for you, then maybe you make that move. I'd be surprised if they move DeJean to the outside. But we have to wait. We can't make assumptions yet. We don't know if Slay's not getting signed, then we're going to have to start thinking what's going to happen here. We don't know yet. I think we got to wait a little bit longer. If Slay resigns, we got to wait what happens with Slay. Slay is the biggest thing. Malguy says inside corner gets more help than outside. Yeah, but honestly, it doesn't even even with help that's the problem. Why do you think it's needed help? It's needed more help because we've had a bad player at that position the last few friggin' years, bro. You're facing big tight ends, twitchy fucking slot receivers, and sometimes, how many times in that inside corner position are they lining up the number 1 receiver in the slot? And then we get burnt inside. Happens all the time. All the time. That inside corner spot, sure. Like, DeJean didn't need help. You know what I mean? You just kind of just said it yourself. They can get help. Yeah, sure. If the player's fucking bad, DeJean never really needed that much help on the inside. Maddox comes right into the game, and they're aiming at him immediately. Immediately. What do you think about trading 32 for Quinnen Williams? Probably not. No. Probably not. I probably wouldn't trade that. I'm only trading that pick for Quinnen Williams, I'm not really into it. Ezekiel says Super Bowl 60 champs, baby. I don't know if Slay is coming back, Addison. I don't know. That's what we have to wait on. The next move is what we're waiting on with cornerback. That's like the next move. Mikhail says Avonte Maddox was a Pro Bowler playing slot. When? When was he? When was this? Avonte Maddox a while back, yeah, he was very underrated, but between all the injuries, he got worse. He got worse. Horrible. Horrible. And if there was a better backup behind, if there was a better inside corner backup behind DeJean, why didn't Ringo play on the inside? Why didn't Eli Ricks play on the inside? What? Because they can't play on the inside. Simple as that. What's going on, Marcus Tremmel? Steven Paparo says maybe Nolan or Harmon is still on the board. We'll see. You know, the guard spot is going to be in question. The corner spot to me is like more important than guard right now. To me, it is, because I have all the trust in Jeff Stoutland in the world to figure that one out. That corner spot is probably the most important right now to see what, that's really the next one for me right now. Mikhail said, yeah, that happens, but at one point he was great. That's what I'm saying. No, yeah, look, and then he deteriorated. I get it, but we're talking about what we need now. You know what I mean? Like, that's what he did is what he did, like players are going to deteriorate. And unfortunately, he has deteriorated a little bit. He made a great play in the Super Bowl. Fantastic. I'm happy for him. I have nothing bad to say about him, but he's just, do not re-sign him. That's all I got to say. Do not re-sign Avonte Maddox because he's going to be cheap and because, no, don't do that. Big Ed 619 said the GM is hitting the needs just to hit mid-level tier players. Maybe go after Stokes, Samuel Jr. Adebo at number 2 cornerback will be our next big hit. DT last under the radar trade. All that's left is draft. Yeah, it's not much they have to do. A couple edge rushers, maybe a DT. Let's see what they hit in free agency, because it'll start to really make sense once a week or two of the first 2 weeks of free agency, the first week and a half will really tell us where they're going. Okay, Slay has got the number 2 corner spot is on the list. The guard spot is on the list, but I'm not really worried about the guard spot too much. I don't care about Kenneth Gainwell walking in the free agency. I'm not worried about running back. So I release depth at running back, the number 2. Okay, it's DT, it's edge rusher. Are they going to add in another linebacker? Is Oren Burks going to come back for another year? Because realistically, do they want to put Trotter? They need depth. They have no depth at linebacker, regardless. They have no depth. So I'm expecting another linebacker either via trade, free agent signing, or they go draft. They go draft one. If they feel like this Nakobe Dean injury is more serious and like they don't want to wait that long, and they might bring in another guy. Jihad Campbell from Alabama. They might draft a Jihad Campbell in the first round. You know what I mean? Like, it could happen. All right. Let's see. Need to see Huff traded. Yeah, that's gonna be the one. See if they dump that contract somewhere. That contract is a fucking waste, dude. They need to dump that contract. They need to dump it. No doubt. We got 235 in the chat. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the stream. If you guys have not, let's try to hit 200 likes if we can. I appreciate it so much. It was a good day today. Fantastic day. Fantastic day. Traps, I don't like nobody but Rodgers taking that spot. If Slay don't come back, he put in a lot of work to earn that. Yeah, I get it. If you sign Slay, they have to sign a good backup. And I still think they need to add another linebacker, because realistically, like, even if they wanted to start Trotter and Baun for the season, they still need to add another linebacker. Ben Van Sermon's coming off a knee injury, and Nakobe Dean's probably not going to play this season. Nakobe Dean, like I said a million times, he's not coming back till October, November. And as soon as he comes back, he needs like another 4 weeks. So realistically, like, Nakobe Dean might not be back until playoffs. Depending on what this situation looks like at linebacker. They didn't use Isaiah Rodgers that much on the inside because Cooper DeJean was there, but Isaiah Rodgers wasn't even the backup on the inside. So we'll see what happens. And if they move, I don't know if they move DeJean the corner too. He's got too much value on the inside too, bro, because a lot of players can't play that position, bro. A lot of players can't do it. They can't face the twitchy receivers on the inside. They can't face the big tight ends on the inside. It's not an easy position to play. You know? So, like I said, I think there's a lot more that they're going to do. And we'll see what happens. We're going to see a lot more names getting, guys are getting released. Guys are going to be on the trade block. We're going to see a lot go on. It wouldn't shock me if the Eagles try to go after a DT on the market. Not for big money, obviously, but a mid-tier type player that could be a nice rotational guy or something. I don't know. I mean, there's different combinations they could do. But obviously that number 2 corner spot is looking like a big hole right now. Looking like a really big hole right now. So the Zach Baun thing is over with. Now he can move the cornerback. We'll move to guard, which I'm not really worried about that too much. Like I said, you have to add another linebacker regardless. I think they need to try to, I don't think they're in a rush right now. I think, Oren Burks, I want to see if he signs somewhere else. They could bring him back. This way you have Baun, Burks, Trotter Jr., adding more linebackers for the offseason to see if anybody can get that 4th spot. Depending on how many linebackers are going to keep by the active roster, we'll see what happens with that. We'll see. I think when you look at 2 guys, right? Like you look at Isaiah Rodgers that really didn't play that much this year. He came in on some games but didn't play a lot. I think will be affordable. Burks really depends. It might be a small little chunk of change because he really showed up during the playoffs. He went in for Nakobe Dean in that Green Bay game, and like pretty much the rest was set after that. So I'm not really worried about it too much. I think Fangio so Stephen Power says Fangio will figure it out. Yeah, I'm not really worried about it too much. EC1 says Slay leaving out Chauncey Johnson when discussing leadership within the Eagles secondary is weird. I don't know if he's speaking the way he is because CJ is beloved. Well, when was this? Well, on a podcast? Oh, I'm not taking too much out of that. I think you guys read too much into shit these players say. There's a lot of leaders on this defense. Yeah, I mean, Chauncey is one of the top leaders on this defense, no doubt. Bring back Kaiser White? No thanks. No thanks. No. I was actually a big Kaiser White fan when he was here. He was a Gannon guy, but I'm not really interested. Robert said the slot receiver can go 2 ways. On the outside, you have the boundary to help. You need a big, physical, fast cornerback for outside. They did not draft Cooper to play the slot. No, I get it. I completely get it. And realistically, it's like, yeah, I mean, he wasn't drafted in the first round. You know what I mean? But I get it. You know what I mean? He's way too talented to play on the inside. I completely get it. But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, you have the luxury to put him on the inside if you bring Slay back and bring Rodgers back. You have the luxury for that. Like, I get the whole thing. He's too good to play inside. So are you creating a bigger hole? Do you trust the Eagles getting that hole figured out at inside corner? You move Cooper DeJean, say you don't sign Slay, you don't sign Rodgers, maybe you put Cooper DeJean on the outside, you sign Rodgers back, and then what? Then they really have to make sure that inside corner spot is like spot on right. Because if it's not, they're going to have a lot of issues this season. Dave said, hey, Joe, you think our OC could be better than this past season? I think it was the best sign they could have. Look, if you want continuity, you want consistency, I think Kevin Patul is obviously the better sign that they've had. You know, we'll get to the coaching aspect once we get to training camp. Right now, I'm really just focused on getting this roster looking good on paper right now. So, you know what I mean? Trap God says, what if Abdul really fall to us? Oh, yeah, if Abdul falls to the Eagles, forget it. I mean, he's not gonna fall 32. I mean, that's ridiculous. Patience, Joey, patience. One move at. Oh no, I've been saying one move at a time. I said we're done with linebacker. Let's move the cornerback. I mean, I'm answering people's questions. People are talking about coaching. I'm not worried about the fucking coaching staff. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about none of it. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about nothing. I'm as comfortable as hell, but it's exciting. There's excitement in the air when it comes to Eagles free agency. You know, there's always excitement. Steph says, we were nearly last in passing offense. Well, why is that? Like, why were we last in passing, bro? Tell me this. Tell me this. There's an obvious answer for why we were last in passing attempts. So tell me why we were last in passing attempts. Hello? Hello? We ran the football a lot this year. We ran the football a lot. So, yeah, it's going to get crazy. It's going to get nuts. It's going to get crazy, crazy. Alfredo says, Derek Gunn said the Eagles want Slay back. Price is steep. Slay said today on podcast the facility wants to stay in Philly. It's up to Slay to stay and take a pay cut. Yeah, that's what it's going to come down to. Michaeli 86 is slot cornerback hard to find, but trash player Max was a Pro Bowl slot corner before. I'm just saying. What does that even mean, bro? I don't even know what that fucking means. Like, what does that mean? I don't know. I don't get this whole, like, they used to be Pro Bowlers. So what? Like, I don't know. I think you're the only Eagles fan that likes Avonte Maddox that much, if that's the case. Then I think 99.9% of Philadelphia Eagle fans don't want Avonte Maddox playing inside corner. If your move is to put Cooper DeJean on the outside and put Maddox as a starting inside corner, we're gonna get cooked. We're cooked. Dude, the Eagles have shown us this year, Stefan, that the Eagles could pass the ball. We know the Eagles can pass. You just watched the Super Bowl. You just watched what the Eagles could do in the passing game. They just decide not to pass that much. Simple as that. You know? The Eagles don't need a number one corner because we have it in the building already. Michael says rumors are 1 year, $8 million for Slay. I'd do it. I had a guy in here yesterday talking about sign fucking. The guy was just spamming Jalen Mills to sign as like safety depth. Like I'm sitting here like what like where the fuck are we as a fan base right now? Like I'm telling you, Eagle fans don't know how to produce young fucking talent. They're afraid. Everybody's afraid to produce young talent. I don't get it. It's a new era in Philadelphia now. This is the golden era in Philadelphia. I've never seen Eagle fans so fucking afraid to produce players. Sign this one. Sign him because he used to be good. Like, I don't fucking get it, dude. I don't get it. I don't get some of these takes. Makes no sense. You know? Don't get it. So that's why they should do more instead of wearing Barkley out and Einstein. Yeah, but it worked. He's getting paid a lot of money now. You have to run him. Yeah, I agree. Like, they have to have a second back that could take some of the flack off Barkley. Yeah, sure. Sure. Einstein. Yeah, I know. You're not wearing Barkley out. You know what I mean? Obviously, he can handle it. He can handle it. He's not a product back. He's a 3-down back for a reason. He can handle the carry. He can carry the load. You got to think about it, too. Barkley's not taking that many hits like he was with the Giants. How many hits was he taking with the Giants? He's barely. If you look at if there's a number out there, how many times he's hit in the backfield as a New York Giant, the wear and tear he took with the New York Giants, that's why he was injured. That's why he said he was going to get washed. People are saying he was washed. People were saying everything. You know what I mean? They just won a Super Bowl, and we're complaining about how much they're passing and how much they're running the ball. Like, what is that? Eagle fans are just not satisfied, bro. It's fucking pathetic, bro. Pathetic. God, I never seen people be so fucking picky after a Super Bowl. You just won a Super Bowl the way you just won the fucking year out, week after week. Now we're complaining about why they're not passing that much. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy, bro. He's not getting abused, bro. How many fucking big runs does he have in the second level without getting touched? Like, that's what running backs do, bro. They get fucking hit. Like, that's the name of the game. You're a running back, you get hit. You're not gonna dim down Saquon Barkley's reps that much. Like, getting paid now as a $20 million back now, especially at $12 million was high. Now is the highest paid running back. You're not dimming down on anything. It's not going to change. The Eagles are running the ball, bro. It's not going to change. So you just got to deal with it. That's all I can say. Just got to deal with it. There's hey, Joey, the offense needs to be creative packet for Will Shipley and Saquon on the field together. Yeah, I mean, they haven't a double back. I mean, when they use like a double back set, I mean, they used it in the first game against Brazil. They used it like a couple other times. It wasn't much, you know? Bang Bang says nobody is ever happy. No. I don't know who the fuck these Eagle fans are, bro. Just won a Super Bowl. You've been dying for a running back and a run game in Philadelphia for so fucking. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Trap God says, I feel like he's saying this year we need to pass more. Yeah, well, we'll see. From game to game, it just depends, bro. Just like the Super Bowl, like, Barkley barely did anything. But he did a lot in that game because they sold out for Saquon Barkley. They sold out for him, which the passing game was wide open at that point. So I thought they ended, if you call it passing, they ended the note on a great passing attack in the Super Bowl. You know? I'm always right, bro. I'm always right. So I guess you have to deal with it. Robert says would love Slay back 1 year. Yeah, we'll see. Ian, what's going on, man? Trap said AJ won't allow us to be not to be a passing team like Jalen said. Every game looks every game is going to be different. I mean, it's what the defense gives you. It's your matchups. Like it just depends. It depends, Stupid. I ain't talking to dumb people. No context, just dumb. Robert says, I'm sure Rodgers would play inside great. He actually had reps inside. Yeah, if they feel like they can move him there, I don't know if they will. Just to think the Eagles are having a great day today, and and somebody's bitching about they need to pass the ball more. Wow. Either that's just a troll or that's just, I don't know. That's just somebody that's just miserable, one or the other. But yeah. All right. Well, other than that, that's going to be it for me today. We'll have videos out tomorrow. Membership video coming out probably right after the stream is over. Become a member if you guys haven't. Appreciate all the likes. Definitely subscribe if you guys haven't. It was a fantastic day today. You signed Zach Baun, top 5 linebacker. Top 5 linebacker. Highest paid, top 5 highest paid in the league. He was a top priority, and the Eagles got him. So we'll see what happens at corner. We'll see what happens anywhere else. And, we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, the Baun deal. I'll read the Baun deal quick. I just lost it before. So, actually, we should talk about this real quick. So it says, WIP just put up a post from Ian Rappaport. He was on NFL Network today talking about the Myles Garrett situation. Okay. Rap Sheet says he'd be very surprised if how he was able to acquire Myles Garrett. He said, quote unquote, even the Eagles can't fit everybody they want. Well, I don't know if that's from a free agent re-signing standpoint, which, yeah, I get that. You're not going to sign Milton. You're not going to sign Josh Sweat. Let me see this.
To trade Myles Garrett. I think they've made that very... That change down the road, could that change if he really is saying, I am not going to play for this team? Maybe. We have seen things happen, but as of right now, very, very firmly, the Browns are saying, we are not trading Myles Garrett. And as far as the Philadelphia Eagles go, yes, they've paid a lot of money to their own guys. All of their best players are locked in on huge deals, from Saquon to Jalen to A.J. Brown to Devontae Smith. There are many of them. Even though they cleared some cap space yesterday, here's what I want to point out. If the Eagles were going to take on a huge contract for Myles Garrett, if he gets traded anywhere, he is going to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL, no doubt about it. In order to take on that contract, they would have to get rid of other very big contracts of their own. Even the Eagles can't just fit everybody they want. I would be very surprised.
Yeah. So Rappaport says he'll be shocked. He'll be shocked. From what it sounds like, the Browns don't want to trade him still. Garrett wants out, and this would be the highest non-quarterback contract for Myles Garrett. Yeah, that's definitely not going to happen. That's definitely not going to happen. If that's the contract he's looking for at 30 years old, there is no fucking way. There is no way. There's no way that's happening. So, I think we got our answer. Yeah, Rappaport says they would have to get rid of some contracts that are tied up, and I think Bryce Huff is obviously one of them. So we'll find out more about that. So, yeah. So that's going to be it, guys. So I just saw that real quick. I just wanted to see what that was about, because they actually talked about, is it realistic that Myles Garrett could come to the Eagles? So we'll see what happens. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. We'll be back tomorrow. And yeah. We'll be back for another stream this week, probably Friday, most likely. And then we'll have the shakedown this weekend. We'll have videos, membership videos, all that great stuff. And we'll be back. All right, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for the memberships. Thank you for all the super chats, all that great stuff. And we'll be ready to go. And yeah, you guys enjoy. Peace out.